Hello, MTI. My name is Lenny Benson, the host for the Mediator Torch podcast. This is episode 10, and today we are shedding light on a photographer that captures the city like no other. Her lens turns the ordinary into visual poetry. Many of her works have been featured around different exhibitions, such as the one that was at the Relay Coffee Cups in downtown Hamilton. Today, let's step back behind the camera and watch the world through her lens.
Yeah, yeah. You know what time it is, Benny.
Welcome back to the Mediator Torching channel. My name is Lenny Benson's your host for the Mediator Torch podcast. As always, we are here to serve and give you the greatest content and for you to find out the great things that people are doing in Hamilton. Today we have our latest guest on the show. Her name is Monique Campbell, and this is episode 10. Monique Campbell, welcome to the show. How are you today?
Thanks. I'm great, Lenny. It's
great?
great to be here.
Yes, you have a lot of your work that you've done around Hamilton, and you are a very stout photographer, and you take your work seriously. And it's just, they say pictures speak, they tell 1,000 words. And you definitely captured that within your photos. Where did the interest of going into photography spark from?
Well, early on, actually, when I was quite young, my family gave me a 110 film camera.
Right.
And it's the size of, the negative is the size of my nail. And so it's not very big. And so that's how I had my first start, was taking family photographs. And one of the times I went with my mom and my grandmother to Belgium, to the old country, to visit family. Mm-hmm. And I took the camera with me and made a number of photographs. And
Wow.
It's funny, when I was there taking pictures of the relatives, I asked them to stand in front of a window that had diamond leaded glass.
Right.
And so I asked them to stand there inside, mm-hmm. and I went outside and photographed them. So, like, what 13-year-old does that, right?
It's mind blowing. You were at 13 years old thinking outside of the box, because for me, if you ask me, I'm just gonna, tell you to stand there, and I would not know what components I need to focus on to, make an appealing photo or a candid photo. And you're, okay, you guys stand behind the glass. I'm gonna kind of like to add a film to it.
Yeah.
That's superb.
Yeah. So I gained that love of photography really early on, and went to photography school out at the Western Pacific Academy of Photography in mm-hmm. Victoria, British Columbia.
Okay.
It was a 10-month course and learned everything from fashion to commercial to photojournalism. Mm-hmm. It was a well-rounded course.
Right.
And my first ever job was at the Moose Jaw Times-Herald. Mm-hmm. And I was a staff photographer there for a couple of years, and really got my experience, shall we say.
Okay. And while at the staff, while you were there working, is that when you were still thinking of what you specifically wanted to focus on, like a niche market? Because there's many aspects to photography that you can delve into.
Well, I certainly got into journalism. I was influenced by the granddaddy of photojournalism, Ted Grant,
yes.
when I was at the Western Pacific Academy of Photography. And I just really started into more documentary, more photojournalism aspects of photography. Mm-hmm. And it was further along, years and years later, decades later, that I got into humanist street photography.
Yes, and your Instagram is amazing. It's like a how if I would describe it, walking into an art gallery, if I may say it that way or put it that way. And it's just really awesome. But like, we had a chat before, and I told you that your page is pretty much a lot of street photography. Why do you focus on that mostly?
It's one of my first loves. I also do fine art photography, and I'm excited because in the past 4 years or so, I've really concentrated on making more images, exhibiting more, presenting more talks that I've delivered to camera clubs across Canada.
Yes.
And, I really try to put my work out into the world, and social media is one aspect of that.
I do have one of my friends who graduated from Still in Motion in photography, and I realize photographers have different takes when they go out into a field or wherever. Maybe it's a production setting that they are taking photos, and they usually have different concepts of how they conjure their art, right? And it when I did have a crash course when I did 2 years of journalism for we had the photography and still motion professor who gave us a crash course, and basically he said you always need to have something in mind when you're going out to shoot. But sometimes the photographer I did talk to, who's my friend, she said usually that's not always the case. Sometimes you can just be on a stroll and then you just see something, and that's becomes a muse, right? So what's your creative process?
Well, I have a couple of things that I do. I like to shoot whatever I see in front of me, and but I also have themes in mind. And one of the themes is on reading, for example. I was influenced very early on by master photographer André Cortege, who had a series on reading, and he influenced me to start my own series. It's photographs of people candidly reading in public. And so I go out always and I'm looking for people reading.
Yes.
It's one of my themes, and I have several themes that I go out and look for. So it's a bit of both.
Right.
I have something to rely on. I don't like starting with a blank canvas. I like to have these themes in mind, these series. And so I'm able to focus on them. If I don't see them, that's okay. I just photograph whatever's in front of me.
Okay. So prior to you going out and shooting, you do already have things set in mind of how you can shape your concept around whatever you're going to shoot.
Right.
Okay, that's interesting. And how was your journey right after school, after graduating?
Well, I was lucky. I graduated and went right to the Moose Jaw Times-Herald, and I worked there a couple of years and moved on to Sudbury, Ontario, where I freelanced for the Sudbury Star and for Inco in their communications department. And I got lucky because I was chasing fire trucks and ambulances. And one day I was listening to the police scanner and up came a fire. I rushed over there and photographed a firefighter reviving a little boy while the neighbor and the aunt were looking on.
Yes.
And that photograph made it to the Globe and Mail the next day across Canada. And in 1994, it was chosen as the runner-up picture of the year for Canadian Press, the picture of the year for Thompson News Chain. So it was a pretty important picture. And I then, moved on a year later. I moved to Kitchener-Waterloo, and I couldn't get into the Kitchener-Waterloo Record. I did some freelance, and then I kind of got away from it. And to be quite honest, I didn't miss chasing fire trucks and ambulances because it is hard on the soul. And but that is one of the iconic photographs that is part of my history.
Yeah, I mean, props to you. It's definitely not easy being a photojournalist, and I know chasing such stories can be excruciating, just to the human eye, right? Because you're getting the graphic elements of the photo, and you're the one who's seeing it live, but you're trying to obviously tell a story that's meaningful to the people with it, which is it's a super important aspect of journalism in itself. And yeah, that's props to you.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your works at Cafe Orange and the Art Gallery of Mississauga.
Well, I've got a fantastic month coming up.
Yeah.
Just to rhyme them all off, I'm showing at McMaster Innovation Park their Art in the Work Fair, or Art in the Workplace, as well as Relay. I just had my opening there. It's a group show on Coffee Cup is the theme. And that's going on until mid-November. I have the solo show at Cafe Aranya on King Street. And I've got 14 of my street photographs, so I'm pretty excited about that. And I just heard that the Art Gallery of Mississauga jurors chose my photograph, Yui Reading,
Yeah.
as part of their 5th annual juried show. And that's exciting because there was 32 artists chosen out of 300 submissions.
Wow.